What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. This is Living to Learn. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day, out of your busy lives to watch my video. I hope it's going to be helpful. I hope that it's something you'll be able to draw some helpful information from. If you know someone who might benefit from watching a video like this one today, please share it with them. I don't mind that at all. That's why I make the content that I make. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And of course, before we get started, I want to mention in the description of my videos, you will find my Instagram and TikTok handle at Live to Learn Coaching. You can follow me there for more content. You can also reach out to me directly if you have any questions, if you want me to cover a certain topic, if you want to know my opinion on something, if you want to share some constructive criticism, I'm all for it. At Live to Learn Coaching, my TikTok and Instagram handle, that's in the description of the video. Also in the description of the video, if you want to take your support even further, there are 3 opportunities to donate to support this channel financially. Again, it's not something you have to do, but for those of you who have already taken that step, who have already invested not only your time, but your financial resources in what I'm doing, I just want to salute you and say thank you. It means a lot. And again, that's something you choose to do whether you can or not. Now, let's get started. Now, we've been talking about surviving the holidays, right? That's been the theme for this month, during this holiday season. I thought that it was appropriate to put something together that I think there's a lot of people that deal with, a lot of us that at different degrees. For some of us, it's just, the typical, hey, the season is upon us and now we're scrambling, even though we said last year we were going to be more prepared, right? We say that every year and we're still not. Trying to figure out what to get. Just what I call first world problems, right? And that's really what these are. They're first world problems, worrying about gifts and if we're going to have enough time or if we're going to get the right thing for so-and-so. For some of us, that's the extent of our holiday stress, right? And it's kind of funny. There's stuff we can do about that as well. And that's what I'm going to talk about a little bit today in part 2. But for other people, it's a little more serious. There are feelings, there are things that are stirred up during this time of the year. And they're not necessarily good. They're not necessarily helpful to the individual. Now, we can't go back and change what may have caused these things to be, what may have caused us as individuals to have this experience when it comes to the holiday season, but we can address it. We can be honest about it. And that's what I've been hoping to convey. That's what I've been hoping to share during this series, is that I want people to feel seen. I wanted people to feel like, hey, you know what? Like, there's someone who understands this is not a good time for everybody. I get it. And to a very certain degree, I can relate. And just based on the fact that, we just got done celebrating Thanksgiving, and I was able to share with my family that I was thankful for them, that I was thankful that our tradition, since I was a kid until now, has always been a positive one. It's always been a warm one. And I thanked them because I realized that's not the case for everyone. While saying that, at the very same time, I'm looking around the room and I'm well aware there's people that are no longer there. They're no longer present, that had been present at Thanksgiving for the majority of my life. And so those are realities as well. So what I've been hoping to do during this 3-part series about surviving the holidays and trying to help guide us to a place where we can kind of be at peace with this time of the year, is that I wanted you to feel seen, and I wanted people to understand that it's okay if that's where you find yourself during this time of the year. So for today, part 2, I just want to do a quick rundown, just some practical advice versus some of the, I guess, majority of what a lot of us will be dealing with, those of us that are having a difficult time during this season. In part 3 next week, I really want to kind of wrap things up with what my advice is on how moving forward, how we should see this time of year and what our mindset should be, what our point of view, our worldview pertaining to the holiday season, what we should try to focus on from here on out. But that's for next week. So part 2, just a quick rundown. We talked about some of the expectations in part 1, societal expectations, societal pressures that they don't alleviate any of the heaviness that we may be feeling. In fact, they add to it. So let's now talk about how do we decompress? How do we move some of that stuff off of our shoulders? And it's just going to be a very practical, quick rundown about these things. I don't think we have to get super technical. I don't think it has to be a rocket science approach. Yes, there's to a certain degree, there's some good things about having a lot of detail and a lot of different, a lot of depth to certain ways of approaching things. But I think for me personally, again, this is just my style. Quick, practical, and repetitive are helpful. And that's what you're going to notice about a lot of the things on my channel. A lot of the stuff that I'm saying, whether I say it different or really if I word it exactly the same, a lot of the advice, a lot of the help that I'm offering, it's repetitive. But that's my style, and that's what helps me, and I hope that it would help you as well. So quick rundown. We talked about societal expectations last week, and now let's talk about kind of what is our antidote? What are we going to do about these things? What are we going to do about the financial pressures that we're feeling during this holiday season? Well, we're going to budget wisely. That's what we're going to do. Now, budgeting wisely, this not only has to do with finances and how you deal with money. It has to deal with your confidence that you are not going to allow anyone but you to decide how you spend your financial resources. And that is how it should be. And that is how it should be. I didn't say budgeting wisely was not going to be an uphill battle for some of us. For some of us, it's going to be. But that is the antidote. You want to relieve yourself of that financial pressure, right? That pressure to spend during the holiday season, whatever it may be. We need to budget wisely, okay? Be confident in that. You have every right to decide what that means. Are we dealing with depression? Are we dealing with anxiety? Are we dealing with bad memories as a result of this holiday season? We don't have to beat ourselves up for it. What we need to do is we need to practice self-care, self-compassion. There's no, I'm just going to ignore it. I'm just going to, I gotta beat myself up with motivation, with tough love, right? I gotta smack myself out of it, be a man, be a woman, be a grown up, whatever you're telling yourself. If that's the route you want to go, fine. But my advice is this: practice self-care. Be compassionate, whatever that self-care looks like for you. Because you are experiencing these things. And there's nothing wrong with that in and of itself. What is wrong is if we continue to allow that to drain us and to steal from us, steal from our emotional strength, steal from our mental health. That is not okay. So if you're experiencing anything that I mentioned, if the holiday season is causing us to be in that state, we need to practice self-care. That's got to be the antidote. Lastly, are we feeling overwhelmed? Like there's too much. Like I feel like when the holiday seasons come, it puts this just overwhelming feeling on me. I gotta be this or that, and whatever it might be, wherever that stems from, right? Everyone's situation is different. Or do we find ourselves feeling lonely? This is very real for a lot of us. We find ourselves feeling or experiencing a loneliness during the holiday season. And if that's the case, I would encourage us to connect with others. One, and again, let me just share what I know. I grew up in the church. It was a place of connection. I'm not advocating for church attendance or a place of worship. If that's not you, that's not you. But I am advocating for connection. And during this time of the year, especially when we get towards the winter holiday season, or what's traditionally known as Christmas, we have a lot of different functions at places of worship, houses of worship, specifically those who are followers of Christianity, because this is a meaningful time of the year for them, for us. And you can find connection there, or wherever you need to find it at. Find community. Find community. Let me tell you why else this is important. This is something that I think we overlook. And I'm not blaming us for overlooking it, because when we're feeling overwhelmed, we're feeling lonely, it's just echoing in your mind, right? That's a tough emotional, that's tough to overcome emotionally. So we can develop this tunnel vision. What we're not realizing is that there are other people dealing with the exact same thing who would love to connect with somebody who understands what they're going through. So not only are we connecting with others for ourselves, we're connecting with others for others as well. So now we're giving. We didn't think we had anything to give, and now we're sharing. We're doing something admirable. We're doing something that's helpful. We are paying it forward, while at the same time we're receiving a gift of connection with other people. So let me go through that again. Financial pressure, spending pressure for the holidays. Do yourself a favor, budget wisely. You don't need to answer to anyone else but you about your finances. Are you experiencing depression, anxiety, bad memories, just feeling down? Practice self-care. Take care of yourself. Don't make it worse for yourself. Practice self-care. Last but not least, you're feeling overwhelmed. You're feeling alone. You're feeling disconnected. Please connect with others. There could be a YouTube channel like this one. I would encourage you to actually go and like in person, literally connect with other people. Whether that's at a house of worship, whether that's at some other gathering. I mean, there are communities out there. There are places. And if you don't feel like looking, or you don't know of any, or you just, for whatever reason, nothing really is drawing you in, well, I've got a channel right here. I've got I think this is the 387th video. So I've got plenty of stuff here that you can watch. If that's what you want, at the very least, right? But connect. We got to connect with other people. We're not the only ones going through it. So I hope that this is encouraging to you. Make sure you check out part 3 next week. I'm going to wrap this whole thing up. And I hope that it's really just going to drive home the point of what I'm trying to get across here. And that is to help us arrive at a place where we can make peace with this time of the year, if it's not the great experience that most people would assume that it is for most of us. So anyway, thanks again for watching. Really appreciate it. Have a great one.